hours of time. So now I have this. Now I have this spreadsheet with the bill numbers and the titles, and it matches this. So what I did was I opened up each bill. I just opened it all in separate tabs. And I went into the bill and I copied the description, not the report title. The measure title is already in our spreadsheet. I just went for the description because that's the most kind of common sense explanation of what's actually in the bill. Copied that. It's on HB70. I go into my spreadsheet and I drop it into HB70. I did that for all these bills. Okay, and you can see it's tedious, but if you're pretty good with the shortcut keys, Control-C and Control-V for cut and paste, it actually gets through pretty quick. I got through 86 bills of cutting and pasting in about half an hour. Okay, so there's a couple extra steps you have to go through to make it kind of word cloud ready. Okay, so I'm going to go into a spreadsheet that I actually kind of pre-prepared. So you can see here, this is exactly what I was doing, and I did it for all 86 bills that Isaac Choi introduced. You don't have to worry about the formatting or it running over the edge of a cell or anything like that. As long as all the text is in here, you're fine. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to get this to a point where we can generate a word cloud out of it that includes both these titles and the description of the bill. Okay, so what I did was I just copied this, and again, shortcut keys, if you hold on you highlight one cell, you shift and either use the down arrow key or the page down key. You can highlight whole blocks at one time. Control-C, copied it and pasted it down here so it's in that same column. Because what I'm eventually going to do is take this whole column and just put it right into Word. Okay, so Control-V. Now this one column has all the bill descriptions and the bill titles in it. Now there's one other thing I learned by trial by error is if you now paste all this into Wordle, if I took this, Control-C'd it, and I pasted it all into I go to the Wordle website, I go to Create. If I dump this all in here, like this, one of the things that's going to happen is, we'll see two things happen. Okay.
But there's a lot of relating going on.
So you can play around with the layouts in Wordle. I prefer kind of mostly horizontal, and there's different color schemes. I actually like kind of this color scheme. Okay. But you'll notice two things about this cloud. First, that there's words that are irrelevant to the issues, like relating, effective. Almost every bill has an effective date, and that's why these words are showing up over and over again. So we got to have a way to clean these out. The second is, you'll notice that some words are all capitalized, and some are, like Hawaii is here and Hawaii is here. Of course, it's the same term, but capitalized and non-capitalized gets separated out. So we got to clean up the data a little bit. So we go back into our list here, and Excel makes it very easy to convert all caps to all lowercase. So you just go to the column next to the column where you have the titles, you equal, lower, parentheses, you highlight this cell, close the parentheses, and it changes it all to lower. And then you just put your cursor over this little square, drag it all the way down, and it turns it all to lowercase. Okay. Then what you're going to have to do is copy all these newly lowercased titles, copy it, and paste it over these cells where you have the all caps. So you're eliminating the all caps and replacing them with lowercase. And here too, you don't want to just paste it because what you'll be pasting is actually a reference to the cell next door. So it's something that Excel does. It takes equations and moves them over. So you want to paste special and you want to paste just the values in. That'll take out the equations. Now you have a column, a single column here that has all the titles and all the descriptions all in lower, all spelled basically the same way. Okay. Now the other challenge is that we saw with this word cloud is that there's words that don't mean anything. So what you want to do is, you can do this within Excel, or you can cut and paste this into a Word doc or a text editor, but I think Excel works just fine. What I did was I looked at this and I just eyeballed the top words that I wanted to remove from the word cloud. Things like relating, requires, effective. I made a list of them and actually put that list in here so I could make sure when I was done with them I could check them off. So relating, effective, requires. I highlight this column, I go to the find and select and then replace, and I go relating and replace all. I just leave this with nothing in it, replace all, and it's taken out those 86 mentions of the word relating. So I did that for about maybe a dozen different terms that I want to take out of the cloud. And what I ended up with was something that looked more like this. Now, this still could use some cleaning up, but I think it's good enough. I'll leave it to you guys to decide how much further you want to take it. But you can start, new words will pop out that you'll have to go back in and do the find and replace. The other thing that you may decide you want to do is to combine terms like employee and employees. Like there's a lot of legislation that Isaac Choi introduced that had to do with the state workers and the benefits for state workers. So employee and employees showed up as different terms. I wanted to combine them, and the way I did that was just like eliminating with find and replace. I went in here and I picked the term that I wanted to combine, and I just said replace all employees with the word employee instead. And so all that's left in there is the word employee. So if I wanted to combine schools and education into just education, I would select for schools and say replace all schools with education, and I would merge the terms.
Did you do that with higher education?
I did not. But I noticed just going through the bill descriptions that most times when higher education was mentioned, either University of Hawaii or UOH was also in there. So I did a replace of University of Hawaii or University of Hawaii System or UOH to standardize it as University of Hawaii. So I think I captured all that. And you have to use some judgment too when you're going through it. You'll have kind of eyeballed all the bill descriptions anyway, so you'll kind of know just intuitively what you have to combine. Now, one thing I didn't try to do, but which you might try to do, is, for example, with this cloud, health and benefits are about the same size because most of the bills that Choi introduced deal with health benefits for public employees. I think, I'm not sure, it's possible to find every instance of health benefits and to replace it with quotes around it, like that. So that was replaced 17 times. And I believe, let's see if it works, I believe now when we feed it into Wordle, it will now view that as one term. Maybe not.
Oh, it did. Oh,
It did?
come on, okay.
Yeah.
What if you
Okay.
put hyphen?
Let's try that. Now it comes out, yeah. So we can use hyphens if we feel like combining terms that way. Again, I don't think it's super necessary unless you're looking at your cloud and you're like, this is misleading because actually these terms must go together, and then I would do a find and replace the way we just did. So, and again, I encourage you guys to play with the layout, the color. The report cards will probably standardize it in some way, but we can see whose looks the best. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you for videoing.